us on a busy afternoon here on Mad Dog Unleashed. As I almost missed my cue, it kind of did. Good to have you aboard as we chat to you about what's going on as far as the world of sports is concerned on this Friday afternoon. A little warmer here in the Northeast. We're trying to thaw out. At least the temperatures crawl to 50 today as we see if we can maybe get in the low 60s next week. Colin Schmelling's in the house today. Eddie Erickson's in the house today. Steve, Danny Cannell, wonderful job. And, of course, our good buddy, Billy Z. We take your phone calls and get you going here on this busy Friday. NBA, NHL, a little later on. Baseball, a little bit later on. 888 Mad Dog 6 is your two-way sports talk telephone number with the great Sirius XM 82. We got a lot to do today. We'll have Howard Katz on in his first hour. You know we love that spot with Howard. He is the guy. Nobody else. He is the guy in his crew. Now, he's not the only one, but it's his schedule and it's his deal. Former president of ABC Sports. He runs it by Goodell late. Goodell passes on it, and away we go now as far as the NFL schedule is concerned on this busy day. I got, let's do the schedule first, and let's go through a couple themes here of what I have seen, and we'll get Katz's thoughts here in his first 10 minutes. Number one, they seem to, if you examine the Monday night and the Thursday night schedule, you can sense that they really did their darndest to make sure both ESPN and Fox are relatively happy. Now, they got a couple dogs in there. You know, Fox has Jacksonville, Tennessee. I mean, somebody's got Houston at Miami. I mean, anytime early on it's Baltimore, it's Cincinnati. That's a killer. I mean, for the most part, they try to avoid those divisions, where you get buried. Somebody's got Denver, Arizona. That could be bad. But for the most part, they try to upgrade the schedules of both the Fox, which is the new guy in the block on Thursdays, and, of course, Monday night ESPN. All of a sudden, if they give Fox the great schedule and then ESPN's going to moan and groan, well, how about us? I think from what I saw, they did the best they could to make sure everybody is relatively pleased. I mean, again, Minnesota and the Rams is a good game on Fox. That's early. Giants-Eagles is on Fox. That's a Thursday night game. That's a very, very good game. You like that? Monday night's got Kansas City, Denver early in the year. You like that? Monday night's got Raiders and Niners. That is a very, very good game. Monday night's got a Giant Atlanta game that's got a chance to be pretty good. So from that standpoint, it looked to me, now, I know, on Thursday night, Fox, they got Saints at Dallas. That's a good game on a Fox Thursday night. That's after Thanksgiving. It looks to me they did a pretty good job of making sure that both those networks, forget NBC. NBC's got the flexibility. NBC gets what NBC wants for the most part. But it seems to me that Fox and ESPN would be relatively happy with their Thursday and Monday night package. That's. I mean, for instance, the second game on ESPN's first Monday night is a very good game. It's the Rams and the Raiders. Now, that's a great game. I mean, that's the 10:20 buried game, the ESPN special with Beth Mowins and Rex Ryan. But that's a good game. Gruden's first game, Rams, Los Angeles. Both teams have a little LA history to it. I like that game. So, there is a scenario there that is pretty good. I think that is item number one that I noticed right out of the gate. Item number two that I noticed right out of the gate is it seems like they're going to take a couple of chances on a couple of teams and keep their fingers crossed that they can be big entities in 2018. Houston's on 3 times. Houston won 4 games last year, but they got Deshaun Watson. I think they try to take a chance that Watson has a big year. San Francisco is on 5 times. You heard right. The Niners, prime time. I don't, whether channel it might be. It might be Fox, might be ESPN, might be Thursday, whatever. They're on 5 times. San Francisco's got TV games against the Raiders, the Rams, the Giants, Seattle, and Green Bay. That's a lot of games to be given to San Francisco 49ers. I know Garoppolo's sitting there, but that is still a lot of games. I felt that was interesting. The Rams are on a lot. Now, you can make an argument the Rams should be on a lot, but the Rams, if you look at the Rams, I'll give it to you right now. The Rams will play, well, I won't count the first game because it's in the middle of the night. The Rams play the Niners at prime time. They play the Chiefs. That's a Monday night game in Mexico City. That's in prime time. They play the Eagles. That's in prime time. So those 2 teams alone are a combined on television 8 times in prime time. That's a lot. That's a lot. So they took some chances with the Bears, who open up twice in prime time right out of the gate, Sunday night and then a Monday night, and they also play a Thanksgiving Day game against Detroit. So, I mean, there's two or three teams that you look at and you say, geez, really? And they took a run at them. So we see how that materializes here as you're moving along in the schedule in 2018. Bill told me during the break there that they made sure that there's not a scenario where a team has to deal with the club coming off buys. They tried to really concentrate, all the gripes about teams, who have to play week to week, and then they're playing this team off a bye and they're coming off a short work week. They seem to try to take care of that, where I guess in the past there were like 25 instances where teams would have to play a team off a bye and they were coming off a Monday night or a Sunday night or whatever the case might be, and that bothered a lot of teams. So they tried, it seemed like they wanted to streamline that a little bit and do a little better job. That seemed to be something that I found interesting here. And then the last thing before we get our first break in, I think that I didn't examine the 420 games, and they can flex a little bit at 420, as you know, with the Fox games and the CBS games. But I know they were very concerned about CBS games at 425, the doubleheader. Because remember, there's not as many great AFC big markets, and there's not as many great AFC teams. I mean, the AFC South's a tough division. You know that. The AFC West is tricky. You know that. So that leaves you New England and Pittsburgh. Everybody else in the AFC East stinks. You don't want to show Cincinnati and Baltimore. The CBS game at 420 is got to be the road team for the most part. And New England plays Minnesota and Green Bay, two ideal 4 o'clock games. They play them at home, which means they're Fox games. So from that perspective, I think they were very, very concerned about the late double dip for CBS this year. Now, they got Pittsburgh and the Saints there, so they had that, which is a good matchup for them. They put New England and Jacksonville there, second week of the year. So they did it a couple different ways, but if you look at some of the AFC teams, you don't want Miami at 420. You don't want Buffalo at 420. You don't want the Jets at 420. You don't want Cincinnati or Baltimore at 420, right? You don't want Tennessee in that late afternoon window on a Sunday, correct? I mean, there's a lot of teams that you don't want late in the day on a Sunday. The Chargers, they're playing a small stadium, so you don't want them late on 420. There's a lot of teams, so they were very concerned about that Sunday 420 package for CBS. We'll get some answers from Howard of how they handled that. So a lot of those little questions here were handled with the schedule, and we're going to do that momentarily. It's great to have you with us on a busy program. It's 11 after the hour. We'll take a break here, and we'll get right back to you. Good to have you aboard here on Mad Dog Russo.